Wow.
I have a friend who hated the movie. And she works at Bridges,
Yeah.
and she didn't love the movie because she thought it was about a white family
Right.
rescuing a black kid that made us, us rich white people, feel better about
Right.
ourselves. And it was interesting to me because part of what you did here was sort of, while giving all sorts of credit and love and whatever to the Tuohys, you sort of correct some of those misconceptions.
Yeah. It's not about that at all. You know, when I first, met the Tuohys, they were always, kind to me. Before I moved in, they would help me, out and things like that. And once I finally moved in, it wasn't, them rescuing me at all. It wasn't anything like that.
The second film this research project will evaluate is The Blind Side, a film that grossed more than $309 million and was nominated for a number of awards, including Best Motion Picture. Like Slumdog Millionaire, The Blind Side was adapted from a true story novel, based on the life of footballer Michael Orr and the Tuohy family that took him in. Aaron Ash, in 2015, analyses the contributing factors to the changing elements of Michael Orr's life, suggesting that one of the major factors is money. Like all films, it was written and produced in a profit-driven industry climate. The alterations to the story offered a safe bet for a positive audience response and return in capital. The first major change in the film compared to the book is the focus on Leanne Tuohy, the mother, and her relationship with Michael Orr from her perspective. However, the book explains it was in fact the father, Sean Tuohy, that began to show interest in Orr. By making the mother the main character, the film instantly chooses to reflect ideologies of white moral virtue and black deviancies. Montez, in 2012, looks at the white savior narrative that's present in the film. The narrative displays how private charity can overcome social problems. In The Blind Side, the act of charity signifying an act of whiteness that obscures the social relations of domination that not only make charity possible but also creates an urban underclass in need of charity.
One of the misconceptions they talk about in the movie was the fact that you didn't know anything about football. That's sort
Right.
of, there's the scene obviously with Sean Jr. teaching you with salt shakers and what.
Right.
Tick you off?
Uh, Sports was all I had growing up. I took pride in that, and I had nothing else. Material things, I had none of that. So, when football, basketball season came around, that was my joy. I got a joy out of playing sports, and to see it like that, yeah, that did make me mad a little bit, and because personality-wise and football-wise, I always had a clue what was going
The
on.
idea.
A major detail that was left out of the film is the fact that before being adopted by the Tuohys, Orr was taken in and looked after by two other families, one of whom was African American, an element that was conveniently left out of the film. The film portrays the lack of concern from other adults in Orr's life, which in the book he wrote is not the case. The film positions the Tuohys in such a way that they are perceived as the only people capable of helping, conforming to ideologies of white supremacy. By saying that Orr needed to be taught how to play football contributes to this idea of the white savior, that the Tuohys gave him these new experiences and had to teach him everything he knows. Another unrealistic representation and a feel-good element of the film is the exhibition that everyone in America has equal opportunity. Anyone who is determined and works hard could become a famous football player just like Orr. This colorblind ideology is based on assumptions that Americans of all groups are now in a level playing field, and success among whites in comparison to minority groups is a result of individual determination, a strong work ethic, high moral values, and educational investment, rather than a systematic privilege. In many interviews, Orr expresses his disapproval of the film and the way he is portrayed. The film manipulated his story for entertainment, and Orr feels exploited with the way he was portrayed, especially with the negative impact the film has had on his career, as people have this expectation that he is exactly like the character in the film, and he was expected to live up to a certain standard on the field. He dislikes the movie because of the unrealistic expectations created by a fictional movie were being used against him on the field. However, in more recent interviews, after his success of the Super Bowl, he is able to see that his character in the film is an inspiration to many people. Although he still isn't a fan of his portrayal, he can now see it in a more positive light.